You are now listening to the Lasting Legacy Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of the Lasting Legacy Podcast. Last week, me and David did an episode, and apparently no one likes us because only 50 people watched it. So, naturally, we're just going to keep doing them until you love us. So be sure to like this video and go back and watch last week's video because we are not going to stop. Right, David?
We're never going to stop.
Correct.
Yeah.
So today we have a very special guest. We have Reese Cambo, owner of Amenity Barber down here in Pueblo, Colorado. And so we're going to talk with him and continue our run of Pueblo barbers on this podcast.
We're going to be the dedicated barber podcast.
Yes, sir.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, exactly.
Not at all.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm David. I own David Tookit Photography Videography. And check out the video we did with Reese and JR. And then I did his Amenity, like when he first opened the barbershop video. So
Yeah, came out
super cool stuff. They have super creative minds. So hopefully we could tap into that mind a little bit. But
Sure.
let's start it off real easy. Tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Reese Cambo, and I own Amenity Barber. It's just a small barber shop. We try to keep it simple. We don't do, I don't have one of the big shops in town. We just, do our own thing. We try to be appointment only. We don't really want to compete with anybody else. We just want to compete with ourselves,
That's cool.
So we just, my barbers, we go around, we do it the old school way. We try to advertise for ourselves, and we hand out our cards. We go the old school way. We go to the bar and get a haircut scheduled for the next day, you know what I mean? So
While you're at the bar?
we're at the bar. And they don't show because they're too hungover the next day.
Sounds about right, yeah.
I don't remember making that appointment.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's super awesome, man. So let's dive a little bit back. How did you get into barbering?
I grew up in a shop. My grandma cut hair before I was even born, I think.
Nice.
She's been cutting hair forever. She's kind of a staple, the perm queen of Pueblo. If your grandma got a perm, she probably went to my grandma.
That's wild.
Yeah, so perm queen, man. She, I grew up sweeping the shop, cutting all the mannequins' hair, getting my butt whooped by not knowing how expensive those things are.
Dang. Yeah.
So, my grandma's cut hair forever. And then my auntie opened up the barber school, the Pueblo. Can't forget. Was it
The barber school's name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Public School of Barber and Cosmetology. There
Nice.
you go, yeah. So she opened that, and then, I grew up in that school. Then my grandma and my auntie combined because wanted my grandma to cut hair next to my auntie while my auntie ran the school. So they actually had a combined salon/barber school when they first opened.
Nice.
And then, just grew up there. And then every girl in the family pretty much cut hair. My mom, all my aunties, my grandma, they all helped my auntie start the school, get it going. Then everybody kind of did their own thing, but my mom's always cut hair my whole life, so that's how food's been on my table since I was a kid.
Nice.
was cutting hair. So, growing up that way, and then I actually didn't want to cut hair. I actually was
Sounds about right. You're over
100%
that.
against it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, back in the day, all the girls cut hair. I don't want to cut hair, And so then finally I got a little older, and trying to find my own path. Went off and went to school. Middle school was probably when I really found what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a music teacher, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of funky. So what was it? The music teacher in middle school, all of us kids, we grew up on the east side, and, we had a music teacher back in the day that really kept his band kids, on the right track. Growing up in that neighborhood, it's real easy to fall into the wrong,
For sure, yeah.
Lifestyle. So, yeah, he was really cool, man. He helped me and a lot of my friends that are still my friends today. All of us kind of grew up with him almost being like a father figure for us, He would take us bowling after school so we weren't out in the streets.
Yeah.
Call our parents, hey, I'm going to take these kids bowling. So
That's cool.
Bowling.
Yeah.
Really cool. So then that's kind of what wanted me to become a music teacher, just the way that he helped us and the way that he got us.
Yeah. Be that positive figure for,
really,
the
really,
other kids.
really nice guy, And
So you were in, band?
I was in band, yeah.
Yeah. What instrument?
I started on trumpet and then immediately switched to saxophone. I found out that I guess my dad had a uncle or my grandpa on my dad's side, I forgot who, played saxophone, so I wanted to switch over. It's like, maybe some saxophone blood running through my veins. And,
yeah.
we did great. Music was a huge part of my life.
David blew a pretty mean recorder back in middle
Dude,
school.
yeah, for real. Hot cross buns all over it. Yeah. We might have to have the first lasting legacy open mic night with Reese on the saxophone.
David on the recorder.
Yeah. But anyway, so you played the trumpet, went to the saxophone, and then jazz band?
Jazz band,
Yeah.
yeah. And then, all through middle school doing the Apple Blossom parades. And
Nice.
we all hated marching band, but we were actually really good. So
Yeah.
we actually went and won first place a couple times. Went
That's
back
huge.
at Risley, a
Yeah.
small little middle school in the bad neighborhood, But,
sure, yeah.
We were killing it back in the day.
So you went to Risley Middle School, and then what high school did you go to? Did you go to East?
Yep. No, I was supposed to, but at that moment I asked my teachers, like, so who has the best band? I don't want to just go to high school to go to high school. I want to go.
And you went to county.
No, at the time it was Centennial.
Oh, okay.
So we went, and so my mom actually packed up and we moved to that side of town so that I could go to that school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's huge.
Damn,
Yeah, it was-
that's cool.
Yeah, so she's worked
Super
her
supportive,
tail off,
yeah.
So she's like, this is what my son wants to do. This is what I'm going to do.
Are you an only child?
I'm an only child, yeah.
Nice. Oh.
I have a half sister on my dad's side. But
Oh, okay.
my
Yeah.
mom, I'm an only child.
Oh, gotcha. Heck
So,
yeah.
Of course, I'm spoiled.
It happens.
Mama's boy for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so she packed us up and moved us to that side of town so that I could, be closer. I could be within like the area they call it.
Yeah.
So you could go to that certain school. So yeah, I went to Centennial, and and boom, another amazing music teacher when I got there.
Oh, that helps.
Yeah, another cool influence, and that's where I met all of my friends that I have now. High school, I still have a lot of middle school friends, but high school's like, a lot of those, you kind of veer away from some friends, and pretty much we still stick together right now.
No, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
We're all still friends from the band, and I got a friend that's living in California, just got his doctorate in music and stuff like that.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So a lot of my friends still do that stuff, you know what I mean?
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then, high school came, and we were killing it, like, doing all state. We had like the most kids in the jazz, the all-state jazz at that time. A lot of us were in there, so kind of ran in a pack.
Yeah.
And then, finally I was like, looking at college. And, one of my friends went to this amazing college. Another one was going to this other college. And I'm like, college isn't, I've never thought about it, but music was going to take me. I actually got a scholarship through music to Durango, Fort Lewis.
Nice.
Down south. And,
Yeah.
So I got about half of my college would have been paid for my whole career, But, in high school, it's kind of funky getting bad grades.
Yeah.
So I had to go to PCC for a year just to get my prereqs, and then the music director wanted me to go, and so he held my scholarship for a year. He wanted me to go get these classes done and transfer the credits over.
That's huge.
Yeah, so and I actually got the scholarship in classical music. I was kind of bummed out about that.
Wow. What the heck?
I was like, I'm a jazz player.
I'm a jazz
man.
guy,
So
yeah.
actually, the classical music, I got the scholarship through. So
That's
did
crazy.
that,
So
and
you
then-
did go to college?
No, I actually,
Oh.
well, just the PCC the 1 year,
Yeah.
But they something got messed up, and one of my credits wouldn't transfer. So say you need like 3 credits to transfer over. I only had 2 classes that would transfer. So I actually kind of got
Yeah. Kind of hosed.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then the guy's like, I can't hold it for 2 years, So,
Like, I get it.
so I was in the rut, man. I was like, man, what do I do now? Like, high school, they push college on you so hard.
Yeah.
They don't give you other options. And me knowing that barbering can support a family and all sorts of stuff.
Very much so.
I never thought of trade schools, never thought of plumbers and all sorts of stuff that make more money than people going to college,
For sure.
So I didn't think about that, and all I had in my brain was that college was the only way. So I kind of felt like a failure, kind of felt real down and out. So I had to go to my auntie, and I was like, hey, can I sweep hair? Can I do something, make some money? And pretty much don't know what to do now. So my auntie, she's amazing, one of the best people in my life. She kind of tricked me into barbering. She straight tricked me, man.
She's like, here, hold these scissors.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm sweeping, and this guy comes in, and he just wants like a baldy, like a one on top, one all over. Man, she's like, just do it. We're busy. Just do it. I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. So she shows me one piece on his sideburn. I'm like, I'm all shaky. I'm going in for it.
Like scared to touch his head.
Yeah, so I'm all shaky going in for it, and finally, I do it, and she comes in. I know I left a bunch of hair on the neck, but she's like just blew me up. Like, man, that's really good, and all sorts of stuff. And I kind of got my head got a little bit bigger, and I started getting a little more into it, Finally, she goes, let me show you this real quick. And then she goes, you know what? I was like, what? She goes, you're in barber school. Just let you know. And I was like, what? She goes, yeah, you're cutting hair. You're in barber school. Stop sweeping. Put the broom down. Let's get you a station. I was like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
She goes, let's start making you some money.
Well, who's gonna sweep the hair?
Yeah, exactly. And so we got another young kid coming in, but yeah, so that's kind of how I got into cutting hair.
cool.
And then, me and JR went to school together. Me and Chavo went to school together. A lot of
Nice.
these barbers in town, we went to school at the same time. I was getting, my family, of course, hooked me up, so I was getting free school. So I wasn't taking it as serious as some of the people that were paying, like JR and
For
all
sure,
that.
yeah.
So I was there for like 2 years, and it's like a 1-year program.
Damn.
So
A lot of people get degrees
so I was,
after 12 years.
Yeah, so I was just hanging out and cutting when I needed money and taking it. It was more of a
Side
hobby.
hustle. Yeah.
More of a hobby than a career path. So I actually seen Chavo go through, then JR go through, and I seen like all these, I seen like 2 generations of these really good barbers in town go through. And my cousin in town, my cousin Nate, he was amazing barber in Pueblo. A lot of people went to him and stuff, so I learned from him. He don't cut hair no more, but yeah, I learned from him, and he did like the best designs in town at the time. He was a dude, so I got some pretty good training from him, and of course my auntie, and then just working with the other barbers. Me, like I said, JR, Chavo, all these other barbers in town. My auntie's school's very hands-on. The day you get your kit is the day you cut hair.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, other schools are very
Death by PowerPoint.
Yeah, you have to learn your book work first, and then they'll allow you to touch the heads. My auntie's like, you guys go, and it's a lot of teaching each other.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was really cool because we see, like, I think me and JR had the first hard parts in Pueblo.
Really?
I guarantee we did. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He saw the video or a picture on Instagram or something, and he's like, let's do them. So we gave each other hard parts. Yeah, I swear.
Do you still have that picture?
No, I better find it. No, I don't. But I swear, I think, that's how that school was. Is like we'd find something cool and then we'd practice on each other because sometimes it's
Try to
dead and
make
we're
it
just
work.
sitting there and we're all bored. So yeah, you're in barber school, your hair's blue.
Yeah.
You got
I was going to say,
designs
that's
in
one
your
thing
hair.
I've noticed is like girls who go through Cosmo school,
Boom,
they
yeah.
go in with long hair and they end
Come
up
on,
with
big
like
old giant nails.
Yeah,
and-
giant nails. Hair is like 50 different colors and it's short.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how in the world?
Yeah, that's what it's there for, to get all those mess ups out of the way and get that
Practice on each other.
get that groove. Because once you hit the real barber shops and you get out there, it's a different world.
For sure.
It is. Barber school, you might be the best in barber school, and then you go off to a barber shop after, or a cosmetologist, or a salon or something, and you realize real quick that you got a lot more to learn.
No, for sure. Yeah, you got people who have been in there 12, 15, sometimes
Exactly.
20 years, with a clientele to prove it,
Yeah, exactly. So I did that, got my barber license finally. Finally, I was just like,
5 years.
Yeah, got my doctors and barber. I got my license. It took me a couple tries. I failed my written test once. And it's because barber, you're like, we don't need to do color. We don't need to do that.
Yeah.
So I really didn't study the color section. Boom, the test is all color.
You're like, what the hell?
Man. Yeah. So I failed it once, and then I went back and I like another time. I got real low again after I failed that first time. But my auntie got me going. She goes, well, you need to study this and this part of the book because you passed everything else. So I went back about a couple months later and finally got it. And I did the same exact thing I did with my music teacher. I asked my auntie at this moment, what do you think's the best barbershop? Who has the best barbers in town? And she told me, Aguilar's on the south side. You had Joelle and Claudio, all these amazing barbers working there. All the girls cut amazing hair. So I like to throw myself. I like to be the small fish in a big pond.
For sure.
It helps me grow a lot more, and that's just how I learn. So, it gets, and that's kind of what happens in my life too, is like a couple years later, if I feel like a big fish in a small pond, I need to change. I need to put myself in another.
You just surround yourself with people who are better than you.
Yeah, exactly. Always somebody, and there's always somebody better than you. So it's nonstop growth.
That's awesome.
It's fun. And then now, all right, so I'll keep on track with how my career started.
Yeah. We're at Southside Aguilar's now.
Yeah. So I'm at Southside Aguilar's and doing good. Learning a lot. These guys are kicking my butt, showing me cool tricks. And Tony's. I loved working under Tony. He was just just the master barber. He's one of the baddest in town. So I loved working next to him. A lot of people were kind of intimidated by him. He's a very stern person, and a lot of people were very, they wouldn't crack jokes at him because it was like kind of, he's the owner, he's the boss. He's I would go up there and. Me and Tony had a cool relationship. We would talk trash to each other. And,
no, that's cool.
And I'm like the new guy, so all these people that have been working for Tony for so long, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, he's a human too, man. He
for sure.
He deserves to laugh, and he's not just a person walking around, So that was really cool to get a good relationship with him, and he taught me a lot. Flat tops. I love to learn the old haircuts.
Yeah,
and
for sure, the classic styles.
Yeah, flat top king. So yeah, my flat tops, I love to do them still.
you still have a big demand for flat tops?
I got a couple clients. Got about 2 or 3 clients that come in religiously with the flat tops. So I
was
like
gonna
it.
say if we
What's
can hit
the
that flat.
average age?
Oh, they're definitely an older cut.
What is the demographic? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You know the demographic.
Yeah, so I worked there, and then, the friend I was telling you that got his doctorate in music, he was actually living in Chicago at the time, and I just needed to get out of town, so I was like, hey, I'm gonna go come visit you in Chicago. Went out there and I found love, man. That city is gold to me. That city is amazing. So I was like, this is right before like the barber industry got like real super hip, and everybody's doing all these cool things, and everybody's barber battles and barber conventions. Seminars. This is right before that. So I went out to Chicago, not knowing that every single barber that's putting on these barber battles and these seminars and all these, huge events are from Chicago. All those shops are like pretty much in Chicago. Chicago is a huge spot for these barbers. You got all these barber brands that are coming out and stuff. These guys are all, Mr. Official, all those guys, they're all Chicago based. So I kind of missed my opportunity when I was out there. I went out there, and I was out there for about a year. I cut hair. I came back to Pueblo, and I was like, I got to go. Like, I got to go.
For sure.
I got to try it. I got a friend out there. He needs somebody to help sublet his apartment. His roommate was moving out. So I was like, dude, when's he moving out? He's like, in about a month. So I'm out here in a month.
That's sick.
Prepare for me. So I'm going to come out there and help you, because Chicago was kind of pricey, so he needed somebody. And
For sure.
we grew up together, so I flew out there, actually drove out there with a Subaru full of junk. Me and my friend Joe went out there. We drove out there, and it was just one shot, man. We went all the way through, and geez, man. I say this is funny. The last 30 minutes of our drive, we had to stop and fill up with gas one more time. This dude puts an entire tank of the E85, like
Oh my God.
gas, And we're sitting there, I'm like, dude, we got 30 minutes, and you're really going to mess up like this? Like, 30 minutes? Like,
might as well put diesel in there.
We're going to get towed.
Anyways.
We're going to have to get towed, so
The Subaru was flying that last 30 minutes.
So,
we got there in 10.
It was literally, we're cruising, I'm like so close to like just going off on him. I'm like, dude, like, I'm so mad at you. It's gonna make it, man. It's not that different. So we're going. The car starts going. I'm like, ooh, boy, like you ruined the whole trip. And then the car just starts getting it. Whoa, we start flying, bro. We're just cruising, man. This car, I don't know what's in that gas, man, but it took us there. Yeah, it's definitely mess for cars for sure.
Good thing it was a Subaru. They're hard to break anyway.
Yeah, and you can see that gas gauge just going up, man. But we got there quick. Yeah, it was funky, man. That car sounded like a little hot rod. It was hilarious. So we get there, we get to Chicago, man, and I tried to transfer my license while I was still in Pueblo to Chicago. So I'm sitting there, and little do I know it takes 2 months probably for your license transfer. So I'm out there for like 2 months, just waiting, and calling. I'm like, hey, where's my license at? So I start cutting hair in the kitchen. I'm like pulling dudes off the street. We're going to the bars. And I'm cutting the bouncers. Like that's like that's like our cool thing that me and my friends do is like, if you're living somewhere and you want to be in the cool bar, like immediately get in cool with the bouncer.
For sure.
And these guys are, in Chicago, they got the big old dudes from South Side Chicago as their bouncers, big old hood dudes. So we walk in and my friends are...
You're like, damn, who fucked your hair up?
We're goofy looking kids. We're going in like basketball shorts to these bars in Chicago. Like we just live there, so we don't really care. Like, and the bars stay open until 5 a.m. out there.
Damn.
Yeah, so you go out at midnight,
Yeah,
so
sure.
We'd go and finally, there was the last call bar and all of us, So I was like, dude, we got to get in cool with that bouncer, bro. Like I'm telling you, because like boom,
he's the gatekeeper.
Yeah, the last bars stay open. That line's around the block, almost people trying to get in, get one more beer. So we walk up, and his name was Dave, Big Dave. So he's a cool.
It's always Dave.
Yeah, and he was kind of he's a jerk at first, but then finally we kept showing up, and finally we got super cool. So after we're like, yo, Dave, across the street, and he'd be like, yo, come on in, and he'd let us cut the line. You hear the whole line, like, what the hell? Who are these two little dorks, Like, so Big Dave was cool, and then I told him that I cut hair, and so Big Dave showed up, and I have this giant in my kitchen. No chair that pumps up or lowers, like
you're on the chair.
Yeah, it's pretty much on a step. So this guy's huge, so I'm cutting his hair, and he loved it, So then boom, he brought his son to me. So him and his son would come and get a haircut, and then so then it just started like getting some of my friends, musician buddies that would come in for haircuts. Sorry, I hit the mic.
No, you're good. You're good.
You're good.
Yeah, so then I was starting to get like a small clientele, and I had a Floyd's down the street from me, like a Floyd's 99, the barber shop. And it was nice, man. I could have walked there. It was literally a block away from my house, from my apartment. And so my license comes in, and I'm like, I'm I don't want to work at a Floyd's right now.
Yeah.
You know, I came to Chicago. I want to experience Chicago. So I went on Craigslist and I found me a barbershop that was like close to the hood. And I called him. And he said, yeah, get here. It took me a train and 2 buses to get there every day.
Good Lord.
I went there. You know, I went there and it's an all black barbershop, you know, and I brought my roommate, my friend, to be my model.
Yeah.
You know, he has hair like a white guy, you know,
Yeah.
straight hair, and this guy's
So you
like
brought the bouncer.
Yeah, so I should have brought Dave. But yeah, so I taper him up and it looks clean. He goes, that's pretty cool. He's like, looks good, but can you cut black hair? And I'm like, man, in Pueblo, you know, I can cut a little bit of black hair. Like, let's try it out. So he's like, well, do you know anybody? I was like, no. I was like, let me just ask this dude outside. He was smoking a cigarette, and he was like at the restaurant next door or something. I asked him, I was like, hey man, you want a haircut? I'm auditioning to work here, you know. He's so I showed him some pictures that I had from back in Pueblo, and he's like, oh yeah, let's do it. So I cut him up, and yeah, they hired me the next day. He goes, all right, you start tomorrow.
Damn.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's a cool story.
Yeah, so I worked there, and you know, it's like it was in a cool area. It's like the city grew tall, you know, but now it was starting to get wider.
Mm-hmm.
So this shop's been there forever. I think the shop that I worked at was a Chance the Rapper used to go there when he was a kid.
Oh wow.
Yeah, him and his brother, like they used to go there. So Chance the Rapper was there, and then the owner of the shop, he cut some pretty cool people, man. He cut like an old WWF wrestler, I forgot his name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this dude would come in and he cut all these cool NFL players. You know, he just were loyal to him. They've been getting their haircut from forever. You know, and he was a young guy. He wasn't like old or nothing. And so I'm in there seeing all this stuff and. You know, so my first haircut's a giant Snoop Dogg afro. Like, first haircut, first walk in, the whole shop's looking at me. They're like, see what this kid can do, you know. It's just the owner seeing me the day before I do a haircut. The other barbers didn't.
You're getting the Slim Jim.
Yeah, so I was like, and he's like, I just want it cleaned up. And I'm like, what the hell do I do, man? Like, and I don't want to go ask. I want to act like I know what I'm doing, you know. So,
like, oh, no problem.
An hour later, me like going over all shaking and scissors and all stuff. The owner comes up and goes, you having trouble, huh? I was like, yes, I'm having trouble. Like, what the hell do I do with this thing, man?
You sent him in here.
Yeah. And so he's like, let me show you. So he started showing me, you know. So, yeah, he was really cool, man. He showed me a lot of cool haircuts, a lot of tricks to do with curly hair, ethnic hair, all that stuff, you know. So my clientele here in Pueblo, you know, I'm starting to, you know, I learned from the people out there in Chicago, you know, and I learned how to do the haircuts that they want. You know, it's kind of hard, you know, here you want a 3 and a 2, you know, out there they call it wavelength, and, you know, it's a whole different
lingo,
whole different, you know, barbershops, you know, it's a whole vibe out there. People will stay there for 2 straight hours waiting for a haircut, but they're having fun the whole time.
Yeah, for sure.
Know? It's a whole different vibe, and of course, like the barbershop movie, you know, you got people just chilling all day.
Yeah.
A couple dudes that just want to hang out, you know. And
get some social hour and dip.
Yeah, so you got people, you know, like, dude, I'm going to go next door and get something to eat. Like, please save my spot. So the owners are like, I got you, you know. And he goes and gets something to eat and he like runs back in. I'm like, good. I'm like, yeah, you're good, man. I got you, you know.
Damn.
But people like, you know, it's a whole different world here in Pueblo. You got people that, you know, try to go into a walk-in shop and they 5 minutes, 15 minutes later, just like, I'm out. You know,
yeah, they don't
over there.
stay.
Yeah, over there, you got people chilling all day waiting for a haircut. You know, I got something to do today. I'm waiting for.
It's
a
like an
haircut.
event.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a whole day for them. So I loved it, man. It was a whole different atmosphere, a whole different just vibe. You know, because all I've known is barbershops in Pueblo. My auntie's school, my grandma's salon.
Aguilar's,
Aguilar's, their whole process. You know, a lot of shops in town piggyback off the Aguilar's method. You know, take your walk-ins, having the sign-in sheet and stuff like that. So over there, it's just all up here. You just in the rhythm. You know, it's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
Really cool.
So you're in Chicago. You're cutting hair out there. Then what's it looking like? You said you were out there for a year.
Yeah, I was out there for about a year, a little bit less than a year. And finally, I'm like, you know, my roommate. So it was pretty crazy. So we lived in this apartment. And the landlord at the time was like, yeah, we'll renew your lease. I'm like, oh, cool. You know, we're paying actually pretty decent rent for this really nice neighborhood. So we never saved. You know, we're like, cool. I'm making my money at the shop. Let's go out. You know, I was 23, 24 at the time. You know, some party mode. You know, let's go have fun. So I do my haircuts. Boom. Save enough for rent. Pay that. Well, the lease came up, and he booked. He sold the building to some lady. And we were like, so he called Texas and like, yeah, just letting you guys know I sold the building. So when your leases are up, you're going to have to talk to the new landlord. We're sitting like, what the hell, dude? It was like 2 months before the lease renewal was coming up and stuff. So we're sitting on the stoop, man. We call it the stoop. We had the stairs. Like the stoop kid on here. And stuff. We had the stoop. It was pretty sick, man. Our neighbors in the apartments, we'd all party and we'd play beer pong on the stoop and play all these dumb games. We'd have old ladies walking with their groceries like, shoot a ball. If you make it, they all got a drink. And these old ladies would be like, ooh, sink it. And everybody's like, oh, that was funny. We used to play that game. We used to tell them like, all right, next person walk by is your teammate. They got to make it. Sure enough, it was my turn. It's like, all right, next one's yours. This little old lady with the broken arm, bro. Starts like, ma'am, do you want to throw a ball into a cup for me? She goes, oh, beer pong? She grabs it. I was like, no way. It's a little apartment. So, yeah, we're on the stoop the next day, hung over, looking like garbage. And I think it was a Ferrari or something, or like a Porsche or something came up. Pulled up right in front of us, and the new landlord gets out. She's this blonde, this like middle-aged blonde lady. She gets out and she has like Ferrari leather pants that says Ferrari down the side. She's like super like into it, So she gets out and she's like, "I'm the new landlord. To let you guys know, I'm not going to renew the lease. I'm going to remodel the whole building." Oh damn! So we were pissed, bro. We were leaving our kitchen a mess because they wanted to keep coming in doing blueprints. Like, F this lady, man. She wants to kick us out. So the whole apartment would like we didn't clean when she would bring people in to go. I was like so.
Well, yeah, nobody's staying.
Yeah, so it was like, she asked us, like, would you guys clean before? It's like, we were all mad at her. It's kind of mean. We should have cleaned up. Yeah, so, he was doing good out there. He was my roommate. He was doing good. He was doing his music and stuff. He had gigs all over town. It was fun work. My friend Barkley, a lot of people probably know him. It was fun. I was kind of like his roadie, man. He'd have to take like 4 saxophones to a gig.
Good Lord.
So he would go play at the Green Mill, which is Al Capone's bar, and then he'd go play with this big band. So he had to take 3 or 4 saxophones on a train, all the way to transport trains and stuff. So I'd go with him. So I get into these really cool parties, man, like backstage and free entry, all this stuff, because I'd be just carrying some saxophones in for him,
No, that's dope.
And then I'd, watch the whole concert, and then.
Did you pick up the saxophone again anytime at that time? Were you guys, jamming in the house?
I left the saxophone with him, man. That's kind of where I barbering's it, I actually left my saxophone in Chicago with him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I want it back. I'm going to get it back from him.
Yeah, you're going to build a terrarium out of your saxophone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I want to get it back. I want to get back into it. I have funky goals in life, man. So I kind of want to get back in the saxophone. Try it out, see if I
you never know.
Chops.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
So you're out there. They don't renew the lease. So you're like, all right, let's pack the shit up and just put that E85 in and fly back.
Yeah, so I actually flew back home. My friend Joe that went out with me, he actually moved to like Texas or something while we were still living out there. So he didn't stay out there as long as I did. And, she didn't renew the lease. My friend, like I said, he's doing good, and he had a friend that needed a roommate. But there's only one room.
Yeah.
Last month's rent in Chicago and stuff. I was like, I don't have enough money. So I flew my cousin out for my last week, and he helped me pack up, and we flew back. So we packed up some backpacks. So I had to leave my PlayStation out there, my TV, my saxophone, all the big stuff, Came back home to Pueblo, went back to Aguilar's. I'm like, hey, when I was out there, I was like, hey, I'm going to come back. And Brian was like, yeah, come on back, man. Got you. So I went back to Aguilar's, cut hair there. I was there for, I think, like a year or two. And then one of the barbers there was telling me that James was opening a shop and Ruben. I've never met them in my life. Never, whatever.
Never heard of them, nothing, whatever.
These guys, So I went and checked them out one day, and the shop was nice. The location was nice. I loved it. So I walked in, and
that's B Street, or
B Street, yeah. It's a B Street. So Ruben was real cool. James was real cool. They're all antsy because they're trying to get barbers in.
For sure, yeah.
So they're being real cool with me. So, me and that girl, we went to Still City together. So, and then she went back to Aguilar's right away. She wanted to go back, I guess. So I ended up sticking around. So I think I was one of their first employees.
At Still City.
At Still City, yeah. We chopped it up, man. We killed it that first year. We had amazing barbers.
For sure.
We had great barbers.
Great team.
James and Ruben definitely had a killer team when they first started. A lot of the girls killed the haircuts. We had some girls and guys that have been cutting hair for years that went over there. So it was cool. It was a fresh breath of fresh air for me. Something
being
different.
that little fish.
Yeah. The Aguilar's been doing it for so long. They have their structure and everything. It was kind of fun to go to a different shop and just see somebody else's structure. James and Ruben worked with Aguilar's too, so they kind of piggybacked it a little bit.
For sure, yeah.
They had their own vibe, and I liked it. So worked there, and then they wanted to go to the north side. So I was like, cool. I'll go with James. We'll they're gonna need barbers up there.
Yeah.
We'll keep half the barbers here, half the barbers there. We'll go up there, and he's gonna need a really good crew that's been working together, vibes together to start this new location.
For sure.
So went up there, and we killed it again. That shop's slamming, man.
For sure.
Did a lot of helped James do a lot of the remodeling when we did everything.
Yeah, because you did all the like shiplap on the walls and stuff like that.
Me and my mom actually did all that wood on the wall. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's
James came and helped a little bit.
Sure.
We were at the house sweating our asses off, painting boards.
He shows up, looks good.
Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, me and my mom did a lot of that wood on the wall. You know, getting the pallets and breaking them and getting the wood together.
Figuring out which piece is going where. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and it looks good. It looks really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, we were there. And then, you know, of course, COVID hit. You know, I saw James's podcast, him talking about COVID. You know, it's I never talked to him about COVID, so hearing his podcast about, you know, what he was going through mentally about, you know, I understand now that I own a shop, you know.
For sure, yeah.
That whole mentally, you know, I got a lot of mouths to feed, a lot of food.
For sure, you
know.
feel indirectly responsible for
and
others.
like you said on that podcast, you know, like they kind of hit us really hard.
For sure.
You know, they've definitely hit us a little bit different than a lot of other places.
Every other industry.
Hit us a little different, like kind of like straight up no. Then you got, you know, we're all pissed because you see these unlicensed barbers that don't have that license to get taken away.
Who don't give shit, yeah.
There's like, oh, what do I get in trouble? I'm just going to keep cutting.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't have that license that could get stripped from you. So it's kind of
I
hard
know,
for us.
because you didn't cut your hair either, right?
No,
that whole thing, I remember that.
I was like, if I'm not getting a haircut, you know, if you know,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cut my hair until we get to go back to work. So I was telling my clients, you know, I'm in this with you. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'll let my hair get raggedy and shaggy, you know, like
For
please,
sure.
because you know, COVID's scary at the time. You know, everything's, you know,
Uncertainty.
You know.
For sure.
And then when they let you guys go back, you couldn't even do beards. Oh, that was
Yeah, that was so
annoying.
weird.
For
Yeah.
a guy like me, I was like, well, there's no point, man. I mean, who cares? My haircut looks good. My beard's still gonna look like shit.
You know, and then they tell us no matter what size the building, there's only 10 people allowed. You know,
You're
so we had 11 barbers working at Steel City.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, what do we do? Like, that's one barber, one client. So we can only have 5 people, 5 barbers and 5 clients. And so we had to do a full shift change. You know,
Like
we did
rotation.
Yeah, man, it's so funny. Try to see a bunch of barbers do a Skype call, man.
Oh my god.
Trying to figure out a schedule, you know, like you do this, you do that. You know, me and Chavo were changing the backgrounds where we're in Hawaii and stuff. Just being jerks. James has been trying to be serious, man. It's so funny, but a bunch of
You should know
barbers,
better than to do that with you
technology
guys.
and us. Like, you guys do it all the time, man. We don't. Like,
Yeah.
So I had to like try to figure out Skype and try to get like, all right, James, you log in now. You do this, and like Chavo,
You're
you do
muted.
that.
You're
muted. You put some pants on. You know? No, we're like, it was funny, man. It was hilarious. So yeah, we get the schedules going, and we're doing 5 barbers, 5 clients. And it was just hard, man. You know, James is sitting there, you know, mentally trying to figure out how we can get everybody to get some haircuts. You know, we can't take walk-ins.
Get money rolling, you know.
Yeah, we can't do walk-ins. We can't do any of that. And like you said with James, you know, just walk in. Oh, just say you have an appointment. Like, that was our kind of loophole that we could find, you know. And so anyway, so did that. It's just stressful, man, and stressful for everybody. So I actually during the lockdown, you know, I started doing my weight loss. Like, I
huge weight loss.
ended up losing 75 pounds throughout that whole year of 2020.
That's huge.
But yeah, I started during when COVID, the quarantine. So when we got back to work, everyone's like, "Yo, you're losing weight." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." Like, chill out.
What do you mean? Yeah.
And hit the scale. I was like, "Yo," because I was 250 pounds. I was big, you know. I was still, you know, I didn't plan on losing weight. I kind of just slowly
just
got
happened.
into the fasting by accident. You
For
know,
sure.
The schedule that I was on. You know, I was eating once a day, and I just like, what the hell am I doing to lose weight? And bro, I'm fasting. You know, and if it was working, my schedule, you know, I want to work, you know, no lunch breaks, just eat dinner.
Yeah.
Ended up losing 75 pounds doing it that way. I got into it like pretty religiously and got into it, and you know, now I'm here. So 2020, you know, some people just worked out at home, some people gained weight, some people lost. You know, I ended up being one of the ones to lose the weight.
Oh, that's cool.
And then you know, the bar's finally open. You know,
Put a little back on.
Yeah, me and Chavo were bar hopping a little bit, you know, I see this for rent sign on the building, and it was for the building, the Street View building.
Yeah.
And I've been to Denver and I've been to Chicago and all that stuff. You know, I have always loved the smaller shops and the smaller vibe. And I've always wanted that, you know. And here in Pueblo, we have a lot of shops that are big. They want a lot of barbers to take a lot of walk-in flow and stuff like that. And there wasn't really a shop I felt like, for people that have already been in the industry and have established and something that they got to work in that hectic environment still. The walk-ins, you know, kids running around. You have like 4 people getting a haircut with their, you know. I wanted to try something where, you know, I was really into the vibe of giving some of those barbers that have been cutting for a while a chance to calm down, relax, you know.
Yeah.
Let's slow the vibe down. And
focus on your clientele.
Focus on your clientele. So I wanted a real nice, clean shop. You
Customer
know,
experience.
Don't get me wrong, the shops are awesome to get started, and the shops are awesome to get going and get that clientele built, you know. But I was very in the mood of wanting to try something different. So I told James, like, hey man, I found a building. you know, and I think I'm going to open my own spot. He's like, cool, man, cool. So, you know, that whole situation came, and I opened up like I said, I have funky goals in my life. One of them was I wanted to open something before I turned 30.
That's dope.
You know, so August 1st is the day that I opened, and my birthday's August 20th. That was my 30th birthday.
Dang.
So I did it.
No, that's exciting.
20 days before my 30th birthday, man.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, the location is super cool. You know, it's right off the Riverwalk near Angelo's, for those who don't know, in the PBR parking lot, technically. You know?
Yeah. The copper windows.
Yeah, you can't miss it. Yeah,
we're underneath the big copper windows in the PBR parking lot.
Super cool vibe. The you know, even, you know, your own touch, like the color scheme in there is.
I wanted to try something completely different.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, and, you know, I didn't want the barber pole colors.
For sure,
The red, the blue, the white. You know, I love the barber pole. You know, it's my stamp. You know, but I want to try something different. And like I said, I've been to barbershops up in Denver, Rosemont Barber Shop. You know, that's a small 4 or 5 person shop. They're like real cool. Everything's crisp and clean. And you know, and then you got Titan's shop. What is it? Barber Theory. His is white with a lot of plants. You know, so I kind of piggybacked both these bigger city shops. The shop that I worked at in Chicago piggybacked all those vibes. A smaller, more intimate, more, you know, controlled. I feel like, you know. Sure. So I did that. And I had a DNA art. Was it come and do my locker? She poured paint all over my lockers.
It's a white and green color scheme for those who don't know. Watch the video, damn it.
There's a video out there. But yeah, I mean, the building's old, you know, so.
The exposed brick, you know.
The landlord was like, do you want to sand the floors and get them back and make them? It's like, no, I love that old vibe. You know, I want this old classic style, but with modern touches to it, with the white, the crisp, the clean. You know, it's really, really fun shop, man. We have our window open, so the summer times we blast our window open, blast our music. You know, we got that whole parking lot to chit chat. You know, and then, you know, like I said, we're appointment only. I'm gonna start doing some walk-ins here soon. You know, I think we're all ready to get a little bit more walk-in traffic at the shop. But yeah, you know, having that window and just that flood of people walking around. You know, like I said, Chavo will go outside and be like, "Yo, man, my name's Chavo. If you want to get a haircut, you know, come on in. He'll pull people in. Then we go to the Senate. If we can get a monster, we go buy our monsters at the Senate, you know.
Heck yeah.
And, you know, Chavo comes back with the dude. Yo, sit in the chair. It's like, you pull somebody. So it's just that easy, you know.
No, for sure.
To get that client. So walk-in traffic, you know, it's a must, you know, but at the same time, we're doing it without, you know, we're
maintaining, for sure. And
you
you said
cut so many hairs a day, so many people a day. So it's like, if you fill up your book, I mean,
no,
you don't really need walk-ins. You know what I mean? So.
Exactly. And like I said, we've been cutting. Philly's been cutting for a while. You know, I got Philly and Chavo working at my shop. You know, Philly's been cutting for a while. San Diego, she cut out there for a long time, and she just kills it, man.
No, for sure, absolutely.
Her men's cuts.
Color's crazy. Men's cuts crazy.
Yeah, you know, me and Chavo have been working together. That's if you know me and Chavo, you know that shop's fire. You know you know, not just haircut wise, just vibe wise. You know, me and that dude be cracking jokes all day. The whole shop be laughing. You know, we have a really good vibe there, man. We love it. You know,
that's what it's all about.
Philly gets into it. We just get in each other's conversations. It's like it's like putty there, man. We're stuck.
No, that's awesome. You said you're coming up on your 2-year anniversary of the shop opening.
Yep. So August 1st will be 2 years.
That's huge.
I don't know what to do. I want to party. I don't know what I want to do, man. So I want to do something fun. You know, maybe a give back event or something. You know, thank the community for helping me.
For sure.
Open. You know, I opened in 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic.
No, exactly.
You know, but the opportunity was there, and like I said, I had that goal of mine to open something before 30. So the opportunity is there. The rent price is right.
Yeah.
The location was what I wanted. You know. Downtown, you know, but I didn't want my shop to be on the front.
No, for sure.
Like I said, I wanted something different. You know, everybody wants the big windows to advertise and all this other stuff. I like the speakeasy kind of style around the corner. I'm still in the neighborhood.
Unless like those windows are open, you can't see in. You know,
so like that Rosemont Barber Shop, you got to walk into a building, and it's like it looks like not flea market, but like different shops are selling things, and then you hit this corner and boom, there's a sick ass barber shop sitting in there. You know.
Like a little hidden gem
tucked away.
That's how I wanted my shop to be, because they actually offered me the front building. You know, and I was like, man, I like it, but it's not.
Where the yogurt shop is?
No, the one next to it.
Okay,
there now.
Okay,
yeah, but they wanted me to have that one. I had the checkered floors, like barbershop. It was cool, real cool. But then, you know, there's like I got another building, but it's kind of, you know, we're in the middle of trying to rent it to somebody, but they're taking their time. And so I was like, well, mind if I see it? She's like, yeah, I guess. So we went in, and I told her straight up, I was like, I will give you money right now. I want this. You know, this is it. My mom was with me. She's like, this is it. My dad was there. And we're like, this has to be it. Like the brick, the floor, the everything, just the vibe, just the smell of the building, man. It was perfect. And I was like, I'm
awesome.
sorry, whoever was trying to get this, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight for this one, So yeah, I offered him the money, gave it to him the next day, man.
Damn.
I went and told James, I was like, dude, I found something that's ready to
Can't
go.
pass it up, yeah.
Can't pass it, man. Price was right. Middle of the pandemic, right after we get back from our quarantine, I'm like, man, this is scary. This is very scary, And then shipping was all backed up, so like getting the barber chairs,
Product, everything,
all this stuff, just getting everything set up. So I actually built the stations from Lowe's. Cabinets.
Yeah.
I actually built them out of cabinets because like there was the stations were just back ordered and there was just everything was kind of messed up. So went to Lowe's and forklift 4 big old stations and painted them at my house. And me and my family are creative. My mom's amazing at just having visuals of what looks good, and then I had my visuals. So she's like, why don't we use these? Why don't we? It's like, oh yeah, that fits my idea perfect. So me and my mom, close
just make it happen.
Just like on James's wall at the shop.
Yeah.
We just have funky ideas. So.
No, that's awesome. So scrolling back on your Instagram, I remember fondly one morning I woke up and there's a picture of you and Mike Posner. So you want to kind of talk about that?
Yeah, for sure. So, I was
fucking big time Mikey P.
Yeah, Mike P.
So it's funny, man. So I was, so I don't like to travel. I don't like to pack up all my stuff and go do a house call, stuff like that. I got my stuff here. Come to me, man. So I get this Instagram message, and I get them all the time. People in Pueblo trying, hey, man, you mind coming and cutting my... So I get this message, and I'm like, another one, hey, bro, I love your work. I love this and that. I'm going to get a haircut from you. And I'm like, oh, cool. So I click. I literally click his profile and see he's in Colorado, but he's like way far. And so I go back, and I'm like, hey, man, sorry, I don't really travel, especially that far. And so I actually referred him to a barber in Denver. Like, this guy's a little closer to you. Might want to hit him up, because, we do this, go to the events and we mingle and talk with a bunch of other barbers. So I referred him to this barber up in Denver. So then later on that afternoon, I was, kind of cracking on him, man. I was like, my cousin's there. We're actually getting ready to have some people over. And I was getting me this dude try to get me to drive all the way to, what's the ski place? Not Aspen or anything.
Vail.
Guy wants me to drive to Vail to give him a damn haircut. He goes, who? And I'm like, this guy Mike Posner. He's like, Mike freaking Posner? I'm like, yeah, I think that's his name. He goes, dude, you messed up. I'm like, why? It's like, dude, that dude's like, you never heard him before? It's like, no, I've never listened to Mike Posner. I didn't know. So I go for that. What? And I go back, blue check mark next to his name. I'm like, this boy, really? And I looked, millions of followers. This dude's like Grammy nominated, singer-songwriter. I'm like, oh, man.
I can't believe you're partying and you never heard any Mike Posner.
Some Mike P, baby?
Yeah, so he puts it on, and I'm like, oh, it ain't bad. Like, how did I not hear about this guy? Who is this dude? I'm like, oh, man, I messed up. Like, a huge opportunity I threw out the window, And so I'm kind of grim. I'm kind of bummed out. So I'm like, being an idiot, texting him back. Hey, man, I didn't know it was you. This and that. And then finally I was like, shit, it's lost cause. He never messaged me back. And then I say about a month later, I get another message from him, and he's like, hey, man, that barber you referred me to, he's real good, but I still want a haircut from you. I'm like, let's do it. So me and my buddy, I was like, I even canceled my day. I was like, I'll just start driving out there right now. So I canceled the rest of my day. I was like, sorry, guys, I'm going to go cut this dude's hair. So me and my friend.
You'll see.
Yeah, me and my best friend jumped in his truck, and he drove because he's a big fan of him. So can I go? I was like, yeah, let's roll. So he drives, and we're cruising all the way up, and then boom, a blizzard starts, man. It's like straight snowing in the mountains. We're driving to Vail, and so we stop at a hotel in Vail, and we just kick it for a night. And I text him, I was like, hey, man, we'll be there in the morning. So, all right, cool, about 10, 11. It's like, perfect, let's do that. So we go, and he's living in this tiny little apartment, bro. We pull up to his apartment complex. There's all these, busted old, he's in Minturn, which is like a little tiny town outside of Vail. He's trying to, so we're like, I'm expecting a mansion, this guy's rich, We pull up, and there's all these cars, and boom, the brand new 4Runner, giant green one, fully loaded, and this gotta be him. He's rocking a sick car.
For sure,
at least. So he's up on the top of the stairs waving at us. This guy's in basketball shorts. He's like, hey, over here. At the house, I take my clippers up, and sure enough, he's in this little apartment. He has a little yoga room, and it's just super minimalist, man. It was kind of crazy. His back patio was right over this river and this mountain, so that's why he got that apartment. He wanted this, and he's in an apartment complex. And I'm literally like, dude, these people know they're living next door to Mike Posner. And he's like, I never leave, man. I sit here, then I go to Vail to train. He's trying to climb Mount Everest.
Yeah.
but COVID won't let him with the tickets and stuff. So
There's no COVID on Everest.
I
No,
know.
I'm just kidding.
I guess you have to get like a pass to do it, but
I believe
so
it.
you have to be a local to get the pass. So
Mm-hmm.
so he's like, I guess I just train longer. He's like, so I'm cutting his hair, chopping it up with him, and he's just a cool dude, man. He's very
Like
you
humble.
know, I like you guys' aura, real cool.
Oh,
He's like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
one of those kind of like real fluid and
Mm-hmm.
you know, just knows where he's at. It's pretty cool. And you know, he tells me he's like, music. You know, I had goals in my life, and it was pretty cool. We had like kind of the same goal mindset. He goes, music was my goal. I wanted to be something big in music, and I feel like I accomplished that. So now I want to. The next biggest thing, and like now I'm into hiking and walking, and
Yeah.
next, what's the biggest thing is Everest. So I want to climb Everest. And I was like,
Sure.
I was like, sick mindset, man. So you know, and then he's like, where are you from? He's like, Pueblo. Oh, I freaking love that place, you know. He goes, you drove here from Pueblo? I was like, yeah, you didn't see that I live in Pueblo? He goes, no, I thought you were like in Denver or something. No, I drove through a blizzard to get here, man. He goes, oh man, I appreciate you, you know, like super cool. He's like, man, I love Pueblo, you know, because he got bit by the snake here. I love that place. Like, well, you know, he goes, I literally love that town. It was so much fun to get. Everybody was so nice, all this other stuff. And I was like, oh, that's Pueblo, man. That's what we do. So anytime you're back, you know, like now
Come
you know.
through.
Now you know
I know.
I don't shop here, man. It was
No,
right when I
that's
opened
cool.
too,
Yeah.
so it was so cool. I had my Amenity Barber shirt, you know, my first shirts that I ordered with my
With
logo
that,
on
with
them.
that shot on his patio.
Yeah,
you
with
know,
that shot on his patio, you know,
it's super dope.
yeah, really cool.
And then somebody, I'll let you take your drink, but there was recently a concert here with a pretty big country singer as well, and he stopped by, or
Yeah,
you know,
was
kind of
it-
how does that work?
So Craig Campbell was coming to go, was it our Gutter House? Out
Something,
there in
yeah,
Pueblo?
I think so.
He's coming here, so I messaged him. I was like, just try it, you know. So I found him on Instagram, and I was like, hey man, I'm a barber in Pueblo. You know, would you want to come through and get a haircut? He's like, I just got a haircut, but I'll do a shave. I'm like, cool, man. So yeah, he came through, and I gave him a shave, and it was cool. Like he was there with his lady, and they were just chilling. You know, we had clients in there, and like
Yeah.
nobody really knew that it was
Who he was?
kept him very.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who he was, you know.
Mhm.
So then they didn't know that he's a music star or stuff like that. So,
Social media is cool because you can just reach out to anybody.
yeah, so it was pretty cool. Yeah, and I gave him a shave, and dude, you know, of course, he's got like the boniest jawline ever.
No,
so
of
I'm
course,
sitting
you're
there
like,
oh man, I
damn.
don't want to cut this dude. Like I'm over here offering my service. Oh, it's all good. Didn't cut him. It was pretty fun.
Dang.
He had a good time though, you know. Then he went and did his concert and did a little shout out for me and stuff.
Oh,
on
that's
his
cool.
Instagram. It was pretty cool.
Heck
Yeah, he was
yeah.
a nice guy, really nice dude.
No, that's awesome, man. Do you see yourself doing that in the future? You know, just kind of reaching out to like, let's just see where this goes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I do.
obviously it's like not your goal.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I'm very.
you're not like the clout barber. Like I don't think
No.
you've posted on Instagram in months.
No.
You know,
no,
so
I like to. You know, my clients go to me, and then you know, I do compete in barber battles, but it's not to. I really don't care for a trophy. You know, I
experience.
Just like to have fun. You know, that's my whole thing. You know, I'll be up there, and I'll be like, I don't have no plan what I'm doing. I go up there, and I just whatever flows. Let's see what
sure.
happens. You know. And, yeah, you know, a lot of these barbers, they go up there and they're real stressed out and they want to win.
Yeah.
They think that winning is going to give them a boost forward.
I don't-
But I'm kind of just in my own lane. I just really don't.
yeah, who cares?
I don't care, man.
You're
It's
still
just
cutting hair,
cutting hair.
you know, on Tuesday when you get back, you
Mhm.
know.
And I have great ideas, so like I'm always in the works of stuff, but it's very, you know, I keep it low. My barbers know what's going on. I tell them what's going on, what I'm thinking about, stuff. But I don't really blast on Instagram. I don't.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I have one. I mean, but it's I have an Instagram, Facebook, just so that people could find my online booking. I really, if I didn't use it for work, I wouldn't have one.
Yeah, I get it,
No.
for sure.
So
No, that's super awesome, man. You gonna be at Rumble in the Rockies? You going to that?
yeah, I'm gonna go. I went last year and I didn't compete. And it was fun. It was the first battle that I went to that I didn't compete in.
Just being spectator, just being
having
involved.
fun, man. So it was like, you know, when you compete, you're very, you know, and I always like to compete in like the design category or something,
Yeah.
like the last one, like the main event kind of
Mhm.
deal. Just because like I said, it's fun and I like to just be up there. But it's like you can't do nothing until that event starts.
For sure.
Yeah, you can't have a beer with the barber.
Mhm.
You can't, because I'm not gonna go up there with the buzz going on or anything. You know, trying to do a
The line will be all crooked.
yeah,
Yeah.
straight razor on my client stuff. So you gotta like play it cool, and then you're always watching, waiting, trying to listen for that event to start. 'Cause
You can
don't wanna miss
enjoy,
it.
yeah.
So it's like you enjoy it, but there's always that little stress factor. So I didn't compete this time, and it was so much better. Those
Yeah.
events are so much better, man. I walked around. I met so many more barbers than I've ever met.
For sure.
I mingled with so much more with other people. I talked to them a lot more. You know, let's go get a beer. You know, it's
Yeah.
cool to have a beer conversation instead of a crowd conversation where you're kind of yelling at each other. It's cool. Like went to the bar and kind of chill for a second.
Yeah.
Had that beer. Went around. And I didn't have a big suitcase with me. I didn't have with all my clippers in
Yeah.
it. You know, it was
Worried
fun.
about what's in your pocket,
Yeah,
and that's
it was
it.
it was a lot more fun. You know, like so. I think I'll compete again just for fun, but I don't think I'm going to do Rumble in the Rockies.
gonna show up and
It's gonna
chill.
show up and have fun, man. It's
Heck
fun
yeah.
just to see the products and the work that those guys put into that event.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to be. We're going this year, and
Oh, you
I've
guys
never
go?
been. Yeah,
you're
so
gonna
we
love
should
it.
have a booth. Fingers crossed. We'll be podcasting out there.
Oh,
grab
sick.
some people. So Reese will be our connect with that.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like,
I'll bring
yo,
some
who do
people.
you think will be cool? Like, let's,
I
you
know
know,
some-
kind of mini podcast, like 10, 15 minuters. You know, whatever. What you got going on?
I got a couple barbers that I know that go everywhere, and they're really cool people. So
Heck
I'll
yeah.
definitely bring them to your booth.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome, man. But yeah, man. Well, sweet. I'm glad we were able to get you on. You know, like it's been a long time coming for this one too.
Yeah.
We didn't want to jam pack it with barbers because
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
But I feel like it was a good time to bring you on. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, check out Reese. Links will be in the description. Hit his book now section.
Yeah.
Go check out the barber shop.
AmenityBarber.com, and you can get all three of us, all
Heck
of our
yeah.
bookings on there. So if you want a hair color, Philly's got you. If I'm too busy, Chavo's got you. If you know Chavo well, that's the way you get a hold of him. You know, his phone number's on there. So
Heck yeah.
thank you guys.
Well, sweet. Yeah, man. Check us out anywhere you get your podcast, usually every Thursday. Check us out on YouTube. We might be going live. Tell Brad to make a TikTok for Lasting Legacy because I don't want to.
I'm
but,
not making a TikTok.
He's going to make a TikTok. But this has been the Lasting Legacy podcast. Good night.
I barely.